Hey guys, SPELLBLADE here with another video on Melee Wizard. In this video I will be showcasing my new build that I've cooked up for quite a few weeks now. I've been playing it for a few weeks as well. I've been having a lot of success with it. Basically the build is a hybrid wizard style using Crystal Sword as melee, but also able to cast out a lot of spells really fast. In this video we will go over how to gear up. I will show you some clips. As you can see, I've been playing on this character once I hit level 20 in High Roller Goblin Caves. The past like week and a half I have only died once. Gotten 58 kills over 28 games, so more than 2 kills per game and only one death. So I've been having a lot of success with it. Let's talk about gearing up. So for gearing up, I want to reach a few threshold of stats that I usually always aim for. I usually aim for at least 135 HP, 20% action speed, positive physical power bonus with sword out, and also 50% magic power bonus with sword out. If you run the item base as iron, you'll get 300 move speed or more depending on if you get move speed roll on the boots or not. Now for the items. For boots, I go adventure boots, brave hunters, mystic vestment, leather cap, necklace of peace, double grim smile, leather gloves, mercurial cloak, spellbook, and of course the crystal sword. For the boots themselves, I usually look for at least 2 will, 2 magic power, and the third roll will be either move speed, max health, or even magical damage bonus. Physical power is fine. Any of the stats you need to reach either physical power bonus threshold or magic power bonus. If you want to be faster with this build, you can go for move speed. Those can be expensive. Of course, it's hybrid based, so they usually are pretty cheap. Next up for the pants. I run Brave Hunter pants because they're really good for move speed. For both move speed, they give you 4 dex as well. The minimum roll I look for is max health and magic power or magical damage bonus like these. Memory capacity is also a pretty good roll to have on them because we're going to be running spell overload. I'll get to that in a minute. These, however, if you want max health on them, they will be expensive, so leaving out the max health will give you a pretty good budget option. Now, let's move on to the chest armor. Mystic Vestment, because of the -3 movement speed penalty, this is really good. It's also a good source for magic power. 5 will give you 5 magic power. The minimum stats I usually look for on these is 2 dex, so this one actually is not that bad because it's got action speed, which makes up for the 1 dex lost. But I usually look for 2 dex and max health. So things like this is pretty good. It's got magical damage bonus on it as well. These are mostly the minimum I look for. 2 dex, 6 max health. You can get 2 dex, 6 max health on rare ones as well, and they will be your budget option. Now onto the gloves. I usually go for leather gloves. Leather gloves with max health on are really cheap. And then I look for physical power, action speed, magic power, even spellcasting speed will do a little bit for you. I sometimes look for max health and vigor as well if I need more health. If you get legendary ones, of course that's going to be even better. But these are usually one of the cheapest pieces we will be buying. Next, we go to the Mercurial Cloak. These are actually really cheap because the true magic damage roll is often overlooked in pricing. This is the bare minimum you want. 1 true magic, 3 max health. Of course you can get better ones if you get an epic one. I have a lot of these cloaks because they're cheap and they're really effective, and better options usually get a lot more expensive. Now moving on to the rings. I run double Grim Smile always. The strength and the vigor you get from it is really good. You need the strength anyway to get to positive fist power bonus. The minimum roll you want to look for is true magic. And usually I want a combination of either physical power, action speed, magic pen, memory capacity is pretty good. So buff duration is also a really good roll on these. So you can get pretty flexible with these and get a right price for the ones you want. For the amulets, now Of course, we're gonna be in melee range a lot of the time, so I'm running a Necklace of Peace. You can get a Phoenix Choker if you get a lot of health on it, but I still prefer Necklace of Peace for the pricing. You can get a rare one really cheap with 1 true magic. You can get a legendary one as well, those are pretty good. The secondary roles you want to look for is physical power, action speed, even memcap, same roles as all the other gear. Something like this is a cheap one, 1 true magic, 1 fist power. Usually because there's 1 true magic on it, the fist power gets overlooked and it's gonna be really cheap to price. For the head armor, iron leather cap. This is the cheapest viable option available to this build. I usually look for 1 true magic, 2 dexterity, of course dexterity for action speed. This one is really cheap, you can often get these for like 300 gold. Another option is go golden leaf hood. These will get really expensive, or a ruby silver hood if you want more PDR. These are also really expensive, so I usually even run leather caps. Like I have a load of these caps because 2 decks, 1 true magic. It's perfect for our build and really, really cheap. Moving on to the book. For the book, because in this build we will be running spell overload. So for the book, usually what I look for is I try to get enough mem cap to reach our spell memory cap here. Double memcap books aren't that expensive. You can get a blue one or even a purple one for cheap if you're looking for a more budget option. But the book is pretty much only to make sure we get up to the memcap. Um, the book and the weapons are the two things I usually try to do at the end of the build, and then I will look for what stats I'm missing. Like the perfect example here, I got -6 fist power bonus, so I got 3 on there, which means I will get up to 0 from that. And magic power bonus is a little bit on the low side as well, 47. But if we add the 4.3 here, I'll be above my 50% threshold, which I'm looking for. So usually that's what I will do with the weapons. Just add to the build the things I'm missing. Now for the last piece, the crystal sword itself, you have a lot of options. You've got pretty cheap ones if you can find a cheap purple one. You can make the build really cheap if you want. The other options is the Frostlight Crystal Sword is the best option in my opinion, but these get really expensive. Just the Legendary Crystal Sword is really good as well. Again, look for physical power, magical power. 2 additional weapon damage is a really good roll. It will increase your damage by quite a bit as well, especially on headshots. And then we've got the Sovereign's Ghostblade, which is a pretty good option as well, but I'd rather go for a legendary sword for more damage. Now if you want to make like a more move speed oriented build variation of this one, you could go Sovereign's Ghostblade because it will give you 6 move speed more than just a normal crystal sword. Of course the Frostlight ones are in my opinion the best ones to run. For the spells and perks. For the perks I go Spell Overload. It's pretty simple because to get more spells. This is especially useful if you're moving around the map a lot, so you don't have to campfire as much when you're spamming Ignite every time. A lot of good players will also try to bait out as much of your spells as possible, so Spell Overload helps a lot versus these kind of players as well. Reactive Shield is pretty straightforward, to get a shield if you get hit to tank more damage. Ice Shield is especially useful because of the long reach of Crystal Sword. If someone hits you, like a rogue with a dagger for instance, you can actually create enough distance so he won't be able to hit you a second or third time, while you will still be able to hit him with the Crystal Sword. Ice Shield is still a really good perk even after all the nerfs it's been through, especially on this build. Mana Surge is also pretty straightforward. It will help us get more magic power, because the magic power gets amplified by your spells and your Crystal Sword damage, half of your damage, so this would add 10% more to the magic damage of your Crystal Sword. For the skill, I run Arcane Shield, obviously, again, to tank more damage if you get close range, and also deal a bit of damage when it explodes. For the spells, Invis and Haste. You will see me engaging with Invis and Haste a lot of the time, because with your sword out you'll be at like 305 move speed, with your hands out you'll be at 330, which is perfect if you're trying to run away or chase people. Ignite for more damage if we ignite our sword. If your sword is ignited, we'll be able to 2 or 3 tap pretty much almost anyone with the sword, as long as you get a headshot in between, which shouldn't be all that much of a problem because the first hit is a stab. Then I run Zap. Why? Because mid-range it's our best damage option. And then Fireball, because we're running a Dex build, Fireball has pretty long cast time, which means I only pretty much use it to try to get people out of cover, somewhere where my cast time is not that important, or if people are out of range. Now, moving on from the gearing section, I will show you a few clips of the build in action. It's really viable in melee as well, as you've got quite a bit of range damage with Zaps. All of these clips were taken in High Roller, and you will see that most people will die pretty easily. those of you still watching, thank you very much for watching and have a good day.